Good morning, everyone. What's going on? Welcome on into Coffee with Brodes. As you can see, we got a little bit of drama here this morning in the studio. I don't know how. I have no idea how. But there is a damn fly coming around town. And I swear to God, we're going to crush this thing today. So that is on the agenda. Also, talking about the Phillies. What a disaster. What a disaster. Me smacking that fly, that's more of a hit than we saw last night, damn it. Other than that beautiful Bryce Harper home run, I do have to say that was a beauty. But yes, the Phillies, horrendous. The Eagles continue to work on training camp. Jalen Reagor with an absolute beauty of a catch in practice yesterday. And yeah, that's kind of it. Kind of quieter in the sports world based off of last night. We have ourselves a nice little iced coffee. I made it here myself in my Ninja machine. So I'm excited for it. I got a little hazelnut in there. So we did a little hazelnut iced coffee this morning from my kitchen. So I'm excited about that. That's basically where we kind of begin today. So what's going on, everyone? Thank you guys so much for coming in here. Mile High, Adam, Nikki, Aaron, good morning, Marky, Islanders fan. Nolan, what's going on, everyone? Thank you guys so much for coming into Coffee with Brodes. Astros lost to the Royals 3-1. It's common to see bad teams win games you don't expect them to win. Phillies just need to win this series. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not happy with what I saw last night. Actually, I'm pretty pissed off with it, and there seems to be a common issue here with the offense, though. That's the problem, is like this offense going quiet has been something that we've seen. Now, they've also been red hot, and they've also been able to get runners in scoring. If you're just looking through the phases of the season, right? There was a phase where they were tearing the cover off the ball. Right now, it's a phase where they can't get any hit whatsoever. Previously, they were getting a bunch of runners in scoring position, but they couldn't get that timely hit. It was the timely hit that was causing them so many issues. So, I mean, it's constantly something new. That's kind of how 162 baseball games go, though, right? I mean, there's going to be ups and downs and a roller coaster ride throughout it all. So there is there is definitely truth to that angle of it for sure. The Braves won again. Why, thank you. Thank you. By the way, cheers. I don't think we got our cheers in there. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good, good, good. That is good. It's not as good as the Starbucks black iced coffee, which I'm probably going to run out and grab after Coffee with Brodes, but it is still fantastic. Now, I got to text the fiance and let her know there's extra iced coffee for you. Now, how about that? I can hear her just walking in from walking the dog. No one says that hold on. We got the fly. We see the fly. We hear the fly. There is the fly landing on me. Fuck! No! I missed! Damn it! Phillies just need to keep winning these series and gaining momentum as they fight back for the division. I mean, look, you can't lose this series. Losing this series would be just devastating. You fall in this series, and it's pretty damn brutal. I mean, that's just reality of the situation. Is it all over? No, it's not all over. There's still a lot of baseball left, yada, yada, yada. You got to win this series, though. Now you put a lot of pressure on yourself to win it with Ranger Suarez. You got to set yourself up for a series win with Zach Wheeler. That's just reality of the situation. So, some teams thrive with pressure. Other teams collapse and fold under pressure. I've seen this team fold a lot more than I've seen them take advantage of some spots or, prove their worth, if you will. But we've seen something new from this team that we haven't seen in the last 3 years. So maybe that shows its head. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I'm speaking out loud. I'm looking for optimism. I'm trying my best here to look for some sort of possibility for them to grab onto something, I guess. Not that I have the biggest faith in the world that they will, but this Diamondbacks team stinks. They're bad. They're a bad baseball team, man. They're bad. You're correct, Aaron. Damn, you missed that like the Phillies missed the hit a ball yesterday. Their approach to the plate was just awful. Their approach at the dish was bizarre, right? I mean, all these pitches are right over the middle of the plate, and there's pop flies, pop flies, pop flies. They're trying to do too much with it, clearly. Their goal was to hit the long ball. It was so much individual approaches to the plate yesterday instead of a team success approach to the plate, and quite frankly, it showed in a 3-2 loss. And as close as it sounded on paper, it wasn't. You got one hit in Harper, then he had a Didi blooper, and then the last hit you saw was a Brad Miller bomb off the wall there, which got him on second. Ultimately, he scores. He scores because of that pass ball, or the wild pitch, I should say, where nobody covered home. I thought Didi would hit that bomb in the 8th inning. I wonder how many Phillies fans stayed up all night for that. Are we at the point where Phillies are still in that I have to watch them no matter what mode, or is it, screw it, I'll see what they did in the morning? Because if I have to be a betting man here, I would tend to say it's probably the latter. It's probably the second option where, screw it, this team isn't worth my time. We're already back to that, which I knew at some point would show its head, right? Because I said it during when they won, when they were winning, and it was so much fun. Handle your emotions, people, because it's not going to stay this way forever. And with a blink of an eye, half the people are out of here. Gotta love the West Coast times from Aunt Migs. What's up, bro? What's going on? 640 is less brutal. Yeah, that's true. But there's also, and I guess you're used to it when you're out there for so long, but these 7 o'clock games, 4 o'clock starts got to be so bizarre as your main time, no? I get once in a blue moon. We get Saturday afternoon games at 4 o'clock, and it's not that big of a deal. But for a 7 o'clock start, for it to be 4 p.m. in the middle of the afternoon, that's just weird. I can never imagine settling my day around 4 p.m. for normal starts. It's got to be 7. It's got to be that kickback 7. I don't know. It's just strange to me. I love it. Football at 10 a.m. is the greatest of all time. Now that I can get behind. See, I have a cup of coffee for my 1 o'clock games, but that's not the same as having a cup of Joe at 10. That's significantly different. I can agree with that, where a 10 a.m. Sunday football seems to be something I can get behind. I guess college football is 9 a.m. college football on Saturdays? That's pretty damn cool, too. So I guess there's your pros and your cons. But 10 a.m., red zone kicking off, your cup of coffee, maybe some Eggs Benedict. I've never had eggs in my life, so I don't know why I just said that. More of your over easy guy, or some scramble with some hot sauce, or I throw some everything seasoning on there, which is always good. A little Tony's as well, if you will. It's good on everything. It says it right there on the can. It wouldn't lie to me. But yeah, now that sounds like a good time. Sounds like a good time. Some of Gibson and Hammer's pitches had crazy movement. Yeah, so J.D. Hammer's curveball was electric. He had 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. That was probably the best J.D. Hammer we've seen. And with Gibson, I thought he did well. I thought he pitched well. He made a mistake to Van Meter that costed him, but ultimately, I thought he had a good effort out there. You're right. The pitches were coming in, and it looked like it was going to hit the batter, and before you knew it, with a blink of an eye, it's somehow painting the inside part of the plate, and nobody knew how the hell it had that much movement on it. So you're absolutely right, Adam. The pitches that Kyle Gibson was throwing, it was pretty crazy to think about how much zip, bang, right back in, bang, hitting the top part of the strike zone, coming inside on the inside part of the plate. It was pretty ridiculous to see that type of cut on it, for sure. Should have sold at the deadline, LOL. Well, I mean, we're going to do this after every game now, Jim. I'm sure you were the same one during that 8-game win streak that said, good thing they didn't sell. Look, I've been telling everybody for months now that this organization is set up for failure long-term, and I would sell pieces. And I'm not going back on that assessment at the time. The 8-game win streak was fun. You knew it wasn't going to last forever. There's that damn fly. I don't know if anyone could see it, but just hold on. Hold on. I got it. Let's go. Here it is. There it is. I'll put it behind the wall so maybe you can see that little dot. There it is, that bastard. That thing was zipping in my ear all morning long. Thank you. You guys are way too kind. Oh, celebratory coffee chug. Hey, how are you? Ooh, right through the right through the bloodstream. Right through the bloodstream. I forget where I was though. Oh, the deadline talk. That's correct. With the trade deadline, I mean, look, we should not be surprised that Dave Dombrowski, when they were that close to the NL East division lead, whether it was by default or whether it was because they were actually good, and we knew it was because they were by default. The nature of Dave Dombrowski is to go in, and with what he gave up for what he got in return, it wasn't as if he blew up the entire franchise and set this franchise back because of his decision to add. I mean, look, I guess that's kind of not true, because if you sold, you did miss an opportunity to land some players. But I guess in terms of looking at it from this angle, where you didn't sell Bryson Stott, Mick Abel, and some of these top prospects in your organization, which are still not top prospects in baseball, but top prospects in your organization, and you move them to not even make the playoffs, yeah, that would be a disaster. To give up Spencer Howard and some other change for a Kyle Gibson, a Freddie Galvis, a Ian Kennedy, and that prospect in return, which can fulfill that role that Spencer Howard could possibly be in that bullpen piece, which was a significant part of that trade. Well, then, yeah, I mean, I still don't I'm not telling you I love it. I'm not telling you I love it. I told you the philosophy of trading for half of a year of Ian Kennedy and 1.5 years of Kyle Gibson for a young pitcher is a little bizarre in general, but we know Spencer Howard's not going to be anything special anyway, so it's not as if they gave up anything that really had that much talent in him, but it's just the mentality of it that's bizarre, but ultimately you still gave up nothing. I know this kind of sounds ridiculous, and I'm talking in circles here, but it makes perfect sense in my brain. Anyway, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. There was never actually going to be a time where they were going to sell. I wanted them to sell. It was never real, though. Even when assessing who they were and demanding them to sell, even though we knew they weren't going to sell, they weren't going to sell. It was never real. They were never going to actually trade Rhys Hoskins, actually trade Aaron Nola. They were never actually going to do it, whether they should have or shouldn't have. Now, this I can get behind. Taking back those double birds, I can get behind it. That I can support. You should take back those double birds. Absolutely. Kyle Gibson is better than Spencer. Yes, I understand that, but it's more about where you are as a franchise. Like, you're right. You did not lose something so serious in Spencer Howard. That's the point I'm trying to make. You did not lose anything so wild in Spencer Howard. But at the same time, where you are as a franchise to gain a Kyle Gibson for 1.5 years, is that worth what was your best pitching prospect, or at least in the conversation as your best pitching prospect? Once again, that's not telling you that that's because he's so sensational. It's more telling you the product of your prospects and where they are as starting pitchers. But yeah, I mean, does that fit? Does 1.5 years of Kyle Gibson fit your championship run, where it makes sense to give up on a young arm that maybe you can tweak and grow and groom as more of a bullpen piece instead of this sloppy whatever the hell it is, where he's starting, he's not starting, he's AAA, he's bullpen, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that, he's this. Just crazy. That's all. That's all. Regardless, though, not that big of a deal, but it's part of the mentality that is strange with the Phillies organization. Bryce Harper's having 20 of his 22 dingers being solo shots. Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? JT Realmuto, 0 Gene Segura, 0. So you have two guys at the top of your lineup that just can't get anything going for you. And now here's Bryce Harper, and there's no protection behind him. So if no one's getting on in front of him, and then you don't have Rhys Hoskins behind him, you know, how scary is this lineup? I'll tell you for free, the answer is not really. Not really that scary. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Losing to the Diamondbacks, that's pretty bad. It is. But if they win the next two, then this somewhat gets overlooked. It depends now on what happens tonight, right? They have Ranger Suarez on the mound. I'm not telling you I feel great about it, but with Zach Wheeler on the bump on Sunday, sorry, I'm just so accustomed to these 3-game sets and thinking about Sunday. I don't know why I just said Sunday. It's literally what? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? What is today? Is today Wednesday? Holy hell. Holy hell. I have my Bryce Harper jersey to give away. Hold on. I'm losing my mind over here. It's been a weird couple of days. I got my schedule right in front of me. It is. I'm sick. How did I not know that? So it's Wednesday. We got our Bryce Harper jersey to give away. I'm talking about Sunday. It's Wednesday. Why was I talking? Oh, yes, we were talking about Zach Wheeler. Well, with Zach Wheeler on the mound tomorrow, on Thursday, you have an opportunity with Ranger to get a victory here, and then that sets you up well to win the game. The problem is I could talk about pitching all I want. You got to score runs. You got to score. You got to cross home plate. You know the philosophy of the game. You know the idea and the concept behind the game. You got to cross home plate. The pitching was fine yesterday. Fine. Came down to you're not having enough offense to produce. Someone has football on the mind. I do. Oh, I've been thinking about the Eagles a lot more as of late. I can't believe that Nick Sirianni actually has me all juiced up. Oh, he does. I can't lie. Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts. I'm ready for some football action. Oh, I'm ready for some football action. Jalen Reagor seems to be making plays. Quez Watkins, we already know, has been definitely the eye of training camp. But Jalen Reagor, you know, we have no idea what to expect from Reagor, and we need him to make a significant jump. We need him to make plays, and he's making plays now that aren't just good plays. It's not a casual, hey, Reagor, that's a great play, man. Keep it up. No, this is, whoa. This is, oh, wow. This is, you know, Odell Beckham. Now, I'm not telling you he's Odell Beckham. I'm telling you that's the style of catches that he's making out there. And he's beating defenders. And he's being explosive. Everyone's writing in Quez Watkins as that secondary guy. I don't think you can automatically just place him in there right now. There's definitely some conversations looming. And there's going to be plenty of different packages and plenty of different looks and 12 personnel compared to 11 personnel, right? I mean, there's going to be so many times where you got 3 wide receivers out there, you got 2 wide receivers out there. There's going to be a lot in the mix for sure. So it could be a Derek Barnett, Josh Sweat situation when you think about the outside. Possibly. I'm just saying it's not set in stone right now that it's Quez Watkins all the time. But Jalen Reagor, I'm impressed. And I've been hard on Jalen Reagor because I haven't necessarily loved his approach and attitude to this point. But there does seem to be this Nick Sirianni, Jalen Reagor relationship where Sirianni is learning how to coach parts of his team and individual players. And maybe he's figured out how to coach Jalen Reagor right now. It's very new and it's very raw. We're only a handful of weeks into training camp, obviously. So once again, it's a lot different. And I'll always go back to this phrase because I really do believe in it a lot. It's a lot different when you face adversity. If Jalen Reagor has 3 bad NFL games on Sundays, that's so much different than August 18th when he's practicing and he's making mistakes in practice and you're getting on him, right? When you talk about 4 NFL legitimate games and let's say he's really struggling and he can't get separation and maybe he's fumbling the football or dropping catches and his body language goes to hell and he looks like he's defeated internally and all that. I mean, it's so much different than in the middle of August giving him a shoulder tap saying, hey, go get him on the next play. But as of right now, when you look at their relationship as coach and player, you know, there seems to be a little bit of tough coaching right now, and that's what Reagor seems to need. So we'll see how that continues to progress as the training camp continues. Philly Sports says, I really like Reagor with the new system we have. Well, you haven't really seen much of a new system, to be fair, right? I mean, they're running the most vanilla offense ever in the first preseason game. And other than that, we're talking about practices. So it's not as if we really know much about exactly what we're going to see from the offensive scheme right now. I think Wentz wasn't the right QB for him, and I expect strides for him. Well, I mean, you can't say that Carson Wentz had one of his worst seasons ever. If Carson Wentz played with Jalen Reagor in any other season compared to that one, you wouldn't be saying that he's not the right quarterback for him. I mean, that's not really how this works, right? If you're a good quarterback, it's not like, you know what? That quarterback's not really for Jalen Reagor. If you think about all the quarterbacks in this league on any team that has success, you can't be like, oh, you know what? That wide receiver and that quarterback, that's a good quarterback, but that wide receiver is just not for him. I just don't see the correlation there. I more look at it as, yeah, Carson Wentz was bad for everybody. You can make that argument for every wide receiver last season because Carson Wentz struggled that much, because the routes were that poor, because there were so many injuries too. You didn't have Deshaun Jackson, excuse me. You did not have Alshon Jeffrey for a serious amount of time that season. So you're using random practice squad players, and Jalen Reagor was also nicked up a bit as well. But Philly Sports Inc. continues and says, I think Jalen Reagor put more pressure on him this year, definitely since he was selected over Jefferson. He's got more to prove. Well, yeah, he makes that very clear on social media. He takes that to heart, that people count him out and that maybe he's not getting as much belief in him as maybe he would have anticipated. So if he uses that the right way and uses that as motivation, then by all means, I'm here for it. He just has to do it properly. That's for damn sure. John says, Phillies has never had luck with free agent team. The Phillies have never had luck with a free agent team. I was really tossing it around the trade deadline whether we should sell. We could have sold over half the team and rebuild the farm system. I'm a little confused. Phillies have never had luck with a free agent team? I don't know what that means. They were never going to sell, though, John. I knew they should have, and you're right. If they really assessed where they were and they really processed where they were, they should have sold. They never would, though. They never would because of, well, the contract to Bryce Harper and signing JT Realmuto and somewhat telling them we're going to contend, we're going to compete, we're going to be involved. They made this statement to their big stars. They wouldn't go back on it. When you hire Dave Dombrowski, your message isn't we're rebuilding, even though that's right. And that's the problem. They're lying to themselves on where they really are. Unfortunately, that's the problem. Boss King, Brodes, everyone keeps saying the Phillies have an easier schedule ahead, like it's a guarantee the Phillies will win all of these games. I think we are fooling ourselves. Well, I mean, there's definitely an element to that. We've been fooling ourselves all year long, right? All year long. Well, we're in there. Well, we're only 2.5 back. We're only 3.5 back. We're only 1.5 back. We're only 2 back. Yeah, because the other teams stink. I'm referencing months ago when it was the New York Mets at the top. The Braves were behind the Phillies, and the Phillies were hanging on by 1.5, 2 games, 2.5 games. I kept claiming, I don't care about games back. Do not tell me about games back. I'm sick and tired of hearing about how many games back they are. I just don't care. I don't care because it doesn't tell me how good the Phillies are. It tells me how bad the Mets are, how injured the Braves are. It doesn't tell me about the Phillies. Most of the time, you can look at games back and you can make some sort of assessment and correlation based off of games back and where your team is. That wasn't the case with the NL East this season. Just like, you can't look at games back in the NL West and say, well, the Padres stink because they're 10 games back, let's say. No, it's just you're stacked in the division. It tells you more about the Giants and the Dodgers than it does tell you about the Padres. And it's the same thing with this team. So, I mean, were we really fooling ourselves, or did we know that this was reality at the same time? Like, no one's shocked if they fall on their face. No one's stunned if they end up failing miserably. It's not as if all the expectations were so damn high that all we expected at this point was a World Series championship. So I don't know how many people were necessarily getting full-on fooled. Because there was obviously an element here of them getting back to reality. We knew that they wouldn't win every game moving forward. We knew that there would be a time where they would come back to earth. But what would happen when they did? Would the pitching be able to hold up and be okay with, instead of an explosive amount of runs, it's more mediocre amount of runs? The problem is you're not even getting that. You're getting less than that. So your offense can't hang. That's the issue. Well, that's baseball, Dominic. I mean, that's baseball. That's 162 games. So you can see that with a lot of teams. You just don't watch the teams night in and night out throughout the league. Now, obviously, there's a bit of a difference between the mediocrity with the Phillies and, let's say, the Gabe Kaplers. The Gabe Kaplers out in San Francisco, they don't have hot and cold. They just win baseball games. So there's obviously the outliers. But you look through all these games, all these teams, all these schedules, you'll find super hot, you'll find super cold with majority of these MLB teams. There's always the outliers. So the San Francisco Gabe Kaplers, They're the win outlier. The lose outlier would be your Baltimore Orioles that just continue to fall night in and night out. But basically, that's 162. Yeah, but the difference with the Braves and the problem with using the Braves to talk about this team, and I get it. Reese is injured, and there was a time where Bryce was injured. There were injuries with the Phillies for sure. But the way that it collapsed the Braves at one time in this season, it's just significantly different. So it's a little different for me with the Braves because of we know, though. We know the Braves are good. The Braves are good. They just had a lot of injuries, a lot of problems early. Freddie Freeman started out slow. I mean, the list goes on and on. I've mentioned a billion times already about why the Braves started out the way that they did. They're a good team, though. That's the difference. They're actually a good team. Brodes, if the Phillies don't make the playoffs, you bring in a new coach, you mean a new manager, Joe Girardi? No, Joe Girardi's probably going to stay. Regardless of what happens, Joe Girardi is going to be here. I can't imagine Dave Dombrowski firing Joe Girardi after a 60-game season, although they just missed the playoffs, and all they needed to do was win a baseball game down the stretch against Tampa Bay, and they absolutely collapsed. And then with this year, I don't see them firing Joe Girardi. They'll probably look at it more from a roster construction standpoint and a manager standpoint, which I don't necessarily disagree with, even though I have looked at Joe Girardi multiple times with the side eye and asked, what the hell were you thinking in that moment? I can't see Dave Dombrowski just firing Joe because of the reputation he has, because of the background that he has, because they're both baseball guys who respect one another. And even though I'm not the biggest Joe Girardi fan in the world, what are we going to do? I always go back to this. You fire Gabe Kapler. Okay, he's having success. And let me be clear about Gabe. I honestly believe, because there's a lot of people around here that I respect that cover the Phils, that are very involved with the Phillies. And I will say this. Gabe Kapler was a problem here. Gabe Kapler was a problem with the culture, with the clubhouse, and the team did not connect with him. What he's doing in San Francisco, he needed to fail. What he did was he failed, and he learned from that. He goes, wow, that did not work in Philadelphia. I'm going to change the way that I run my team. I'm going to change the way that I manage. I'm going to change the way that I connect with my players. And you can see that he failed. He fell flat on his face, and he became a better manager. That's reality. Just because he's doing this in San Francisco, it doesn't mean he would have done this in Philly. He needed to fall. He needed to lose. He needed to get fired to self-assess. And you know that he's a hardworking man. He takes pride in a lot of hard work. You can see it with the body frame, if you will. You can see it with the structure of his body, getting to the gym, getting after it. He's got that determination, that mental capacity to keep battling. And I think he basically learned a lot from failing so miserably here in Philadelphia, which he did. That clubhouse and him did not relate at all. That is a problem. But going back to it, if you fire Gabe Kapler, then you fire Joe Girardi, and you bring a new manager in here, and it's the same, and it's major issues, bad decisions, bullpen blowing, we're putting the wrong guy in here, bad defensive shift there, or a double switch that you don't agree with. Now that's three managers where we'd be saying the same exact thing. What do you do then? Fire that manager? I'm just saying, what if that's the case? What if it's then three managers? What do you do then? Go for the fourth? Or then do you realize that maybe there's more happening here? Even though we should already know. How about this? Curtis says, yes, the Phillies-Atlanta series could determine a playoff spot. That would be insane. I'm all here for that. You're telling me we get down to, I think that's the second to last. I believe that's the second to last series because I think they end with the Marlins. Yeah, they do. They end with the Marlins. So that's September 28th, September 29th, September 30th. Bang, bang, bang. Now that falls on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then you kick right into gear with Marlins Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then the season is over on October 3rd. But that would be something. That would be insane. Sign me up any day of the week. Sign me up for that. I get the most out of my players, says Gabe Kapler. You are in San Francisco. I went 3 TV setup last night. It felt good. It's been a little bit of time since I went full 3 TVs, like to that level of intensity. Sometimes I have it where both TVs are on mute, so they're just there and I'm not really even paying attention at all. But yesterday was a good flip remote, bang, 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 mute, 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 unmute, unmute, mute, 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 unmute, unmute, just kind of bouncing through everything. And I will admit I had a bunch of fun last night watching the San Francisco Gabe Kaplers beat up on the New York Mets. Needed to happen. The Yankees, I'll tell you what, the Yankees Red Sox was actually a lot of fun yesterday. Yankees Red Sox. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I'm losing some power over here as well with some of the Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. I'm working on it. I have 5 bars, so I don't know why this happens. I got 5 Wi-Fi bars. I'm just exiting out of some of the other stuff that was rocking and rolling here on my feed. I don't know, though. Is it still horrendous? Because I have 1 bar on my actual stream, but I got 5 with my Wi-Fi. So it's not making much sense here. This happens once in a blue moon, and I can't tell you why that is. I wonder if the fiance is grinding some shows upstairs. All right, let's see. Yeah, I know. Technology is a bitch. That's for sure. It's a little better. All right, we'll see if it kicks into gear. Sometimes it takes a little bit after I end up canceling out of things. Okay, there you go. The bar's moved. What were we talking about, though? I really don't remember, to be honest with you. I got sidetracked. We're in sports purgatory with our teams in Philly. Is there any hope ahead for a championship? We're not stuck in purgatory at all. The Flyers made some serious moves that should be able to make the playoffs in the NHL. You have a chance to legitimately compete for a championship. So there's no way in hell that I'm telling you that the Flyers are stuck in purgatory right now. Because even if you are every other year making the playoffs, and by the way, with the moves Chuck Fletcher made, it's totally different this season because you're not stuck with the same let's run it back type of squad. You added so much to the decor. You added up front with Cam Atkinson. So it's a whole new environment and basically a fresh team. So I don't know if I can relate them exactly to where they were in years past. But every other year, but at least getting into the playoffs. They were 1 game away from the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago. Hockey's different. Stuck in the 8th seed, 7th seed area, 6th seed area, that's fine. I'll take that any day. If you tell me you're a constant 8th, 7th seed in the NHL, fine, because you have just as good of a chance to win the Stanley Cup as any other team every time you step on that ice in postseason. So it just comes down to needing a goalie. You need a goalie, and you need some help defensively as well. And I mean, you're just like writing off the fact that you have Joel Embiid. Like, how are you stuck in purgatory when you were stuck in purgatory before the process? You have Joel Embiid. So I think this is very reactionary. Once you have Joel, that opens up the door to not be in purgatory. You have a great opportunity to not be in purgatory. They're getting in the second round, no doubt. They're getting the game 7s in the second round. They can't take that jump. I got you. Stuck in purgatory, though, is Phillies. The Phillies are stuck in purgatory. They are in an area where it's devastating. That's different. What are you saying, Joey? How could you keep a Super Bowl MVP on the bench over Hurts? I don't know what we're talking about. Are you saying? I've no idea what you're talking about. Joe Flacco? Are you talking about Joe Flacco? I hope you're lying, right? I hope you're joking and you just want to be funny in the chat. Please. Please tell me you're just trying to be funny in the chat. Connor brings up J.D. Hammer. Dude, J.D. Hammer was ridiculous last night. Are you kidding me with those curveballs? Those curveballs were electric. That was legit. That was actual legit stuff last night from J.D. Hammer. Gave you 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. He was insane. Joe, did you see what you just said here? And by the way, I don't know if he was necessarily elite, but he had a good year and won a Super Bowl. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. Really? Let's calm down, please. That's embarrassing, Joey. Come on, man. That's embarrassing. You're talking about a dude that's clearly at the back end of his career who's a journeyman backup quarterback. Please. Please. I'm going to text the fiance something about this damn Wi-Fi. Because this is ridiculous. I have no idea why this is happening. I have nothing up on my screen. And it's just literally going crazy. It looks like Ben is still going to be on the team. Why do we keep saying that? Every day, he's going to be on the team. Well, what's from yesterday to today? Let Daryl Morey work. It's not going to happen with the snap of a fingers. It's not going to happen automatically out of nowhere. We know the situation at this point, and I think it's like it is what it is. Like every day, it's, well, it looks like he'll be here. It looks like he'll be here. We don't know. We have literally no idea what's going to happen. They're playing a cat and mouse game. One person says he'll be here. The other person says Daryl Morey's willing to make a trade. I mean, you just hear conflicting reports. It's like Bryce Harper. How many times did we hear Bryce Harper won't be here? Bryce Harper won't be here. Bryce Harper hates Philadelphia. Okay, he signs a deal. Well, there's no way Ben Simmons gets traded. Ben Simmons will be here. Ben Simmons will be here. Well, who knows? Who knows? We have no idea. We know Daryl Morey's working the phones, and he's willing to pounce on an opportunity to trade Ben Simmons. That's what we do know. So I'm not ready to react yet. Joe Flacco was mostly good in the playoffs, had a good defense to take him to the promised land. No doubt about it. I just think it's hilarious that we're at the point now where we think that Joe Flacco should be playing. There's actually, I know that maybe Joey's just being a troll because it's funny. I get that, trust me. But there's actually some that do feel that way, that watch that preseason game, that believe, you know what's awesome? Joe Flacco. Did you see the way he played out there? He should play. There are some fans, and I guess it's just the nature of backup quarterbacks. I don't know. I don't know what it is here in this city, but there are legitimate fans that would rather rock with Flacco over Jalen Hurts. No idea what type of crack they smoke. Willing to find out, I guess. Joey says, a different Joey. I'm a big Phillies fan, but I hate the Eagles. Giants sweeping them. Should be fun to watch a lot of young talent in the NFC East. I never understood that, Joe. I want to tap into your mind as a Giants-Phillies fan. How do you do that? I just don't understand. Because the team that you love and you support in the Phillies, they're all the same fans as the Eagles fans. So if you say, oh, Eagles fans are scummy, they're dirtbags, they're a joke, they're assholes. Well, you're a part of that same crew with the Phillies. They're the same fans. We're literally the same fans in every single aspect here in Philly. So how can you despise one fan base when you're a part of the same exact fan base in another area? And I would love to know if you're also a Sixers fan and maybe a Flyers fan too. I need to get your breakdown of who you support. I need to see what you support every day. Adam continues here. Adam jumps in. Giants are a joke. I'm a fan of them as well. So, yeah, I mean, they have Joe Judge. The Joe Judge experience is just whacked. I don't understand how you can support that nonsense. I really don't. It's quite embarrassing that he takes it to this level. You got guys retiring on him. Nobody's enjoying it there. Too strict. Too much of a douche, right? You can play that douche card. Don't get me wrong. I understand. It's the National Football League. You want to be Mr. Tough Guy. But there's a way to be Mr. Tough Guy and do it with respect of these players. And quite frankly, it looks like it's the complete opposite. I don't think he's got the room that much longer. I really don't. Typical hate on Hurts. People already have biased opinions. I hated the Hurts pick, and I will never justify the Hurts pick. I even said it at the time. If he becomes your franchise quarterback for the next 12 years, the logic on how they got here still is extremely flawed. The way they approached getting that 12 years of Jalen Hurts was still one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in my life, where I still will not support that whatsoever. Anyway, you can tell that he's got the work ethic. You can tell that he's got the determination, all the little things needed. Can it all be applied properly on the field? I don't understand saying he can't do this, he can't do that. He's limited in certain areas for sure, but he's had big moments in his career as well. He also had some tough moments that he had to bounce back from. But hey, adversity. I like the fact that he can actually handle the adversity. To say he can or can't do anything at this point is just an unknown. It's not true. We don't know. We do not know. That's why When you how many wins are they going to get? I don't know. What are they going to look like this year, Brodes? I don't know. Like I do not know. I can tell you what I'm hearing from people who cover the team. I can tell you what I'm hearing from reporters that are showing us things in training camp. I mean, I can tell you things about, yeah, this looks good for Quez. I can tell you about how Quez Watkins looks good and Jalen Reagor looks good and how that excites me. How is Jalen Hurts going to play? I don't know. I'm just as intrigued as anybody else. I have no idea how he's going to play, but I can't wait to dissect it. That's what I'm here for. I can't wait to dissect the games, to point out what he did wrong, what he did right. But before I see anything, I have no idea. Nobody does. Not even Nick Sirianni. Not even Jeffrey Lurie or Howie Roseman. You got no clue. You're right, Connor. That decision is really on the front office, not Hurts, so can't take it out on him. That's right. He didn't do that. He didn't say, hey, pick me here in the second round when you just signed Carson Wentz, so why take it out on him? That's fair. That's very fair. Very fair. What? Did you just say that Dave Dombrowski is too conservative? Dave Dombrowski's the complete opposite. Dave Dombrowski's a go-getter. Dave Dombrowski's a let's go. You got to be smart about it. What'd you want him to do? Sell the entire farm? The one that's not even there for this team? It ain't worth it. You got to be smart. Now, they went after it because they were close. Should he have sold everyone? Sure. Yeah, I would love to. They're not going to, though, and I think that goes past Dave Dombrowski's head. That's a John Middleton thing. I don't think John Middleton wants to sell and reboot and retool. But Dave Dombrowski's a go-getter. He's the complete opposite of conservative. That's for sure. Yes, boss. This question was being asked yesterday a bit, and it kind of blows my mind. With the history of Embiid, was it smart to give him money? Yes. Yes. What is the alternative? I want to know the alternative. Let Joel Embiid make decisions for him and go to another team? Like, this is what you do. You gamble. Yeah, you're gambling because there's an injury history with him. He's too good of a talent to not gamble. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's fine. But you don't let the alternative happen, which is not sign him and his ass walks out of town. You need a Joel Embiid to win the championship. You need that type of talent to be in the conversation to win a championship. You can't let that go out the door. That doesn't just walk around. Like, you can't find that talent. Think about that. Think about how special Joel Embiid is. Where can you just pluck that out of the NBA? You can't. No, you have it. You get it. You keep it. If it ends up backfiring because of injuries, fine. Fine. I'll live with that any day of the week over just letting him leave town after a couple years. Get out of here. You can't do that. You pay the man. You pay the man anything he wants. That's how the NBA works. Get your guy, pay your guy, you have your guy. And not even necessarily, because the way this league works, if you're upset, you can get out anyway. All right, hold on. John says, Kapler making sure, we went over that, right? Making sure the Phils notice, as did Francona. Dombrowski's conservative. I said that. And then John responds with, so it means the next team Girardi manages will win the World Series. Well, it depends on where he goes. But I don't know how much is, I think he's here. So I think that's irrelevant. Joe Girardi, I don't think is going anywhere. He's here. Oh, so you're a Sixers fan. See, Joey, I'm a little confused, man. I really don't get that rationale. I can't support that logic. Big Phillies fan, love the Giants. I don't get it. You're hating on your own fan base. I did not see what Gene Segura said. What the hell did Gene Segura say? I'm a little disappointed because I recorded my post-game pod this morning and I did not see anything from Gene Segura. So now I have to, and let's see what was being said. Now I'm nervous. Was it? I don't see anything that popped. I don't see any major stories or anything. Oh, no, not what he said. Oh, sorry, I read that too quickly. No, I did not see your Segura take. What was your thoughts on Segura? Not leading him off? He went 0 for 4 yesterday. JT went 0 for 4 yesterday. I did not see it, though. Joey, you just say ridiculous stuff. I mean, that's just reality of the situation here as we see. Yeah, I've been screaming this for a little bit of time now, man. His OPS and his batting average is way higher when he bats in the two hole. The problem is, I don't know who you lead off. Odubel Herrera is not a good leadoff hitter. Jankowski's not good at leadoff. I was wondering, but the problem is with Kutch, I don't know if he's there yet, but it could be by default. You got to try something new. Do you throw Kutch back in the leadoff spot and try and get a spark going offensively with Kutch in the leadoff? He's had success, though, deeper in the lineup, whether it's that in that 6 area or so. You know, he's had some success there. I don't like the I don't like the leadoff spot. So is Gene by default your guy? Yeah, I mean, if you go to Andrew McCutchen through his just where he bats to his lineup, or his batting average based off of where he's hitting in the lineup, I should say. It's actually crazy to think about his numbers back in the day with Pittsburgh. Not that it is crazy because we know how dominant he was. Just interesting looking at it. That's all. Batting 6th, he's hitting 362 with a 1.157 OPS. So I think that there's a lot of reasons why they're sticking with him in that area is because of those numbers right there, albeit only 138 at-bats, but they like what they see with 362 as their batting average with a 1 dot, right? So that's important. Batting 3rd. This was his numbers, by the way, when he was pretty much playing in Pittsburgh. He had over 3,869 at-bats batting 3rd. He had a 294 batting average with an 872 OPS with 160 bombs, 571 RBIs, 119 stolen bases. This is, of course, just batting 3rd. Just crazy to think about his dominance, though, for sure. But yeah, leading off, he's hitting 262 in his career. Andrew McCutchen is. Is that the way that you go? Is that the way that you go? There's no such thing as Central Jersey, though. That's the problem. There's no such thing as Central Jersey. I've never seen it in my life. Anything north of me is North Jersey. Whoa. This is interesting. You want to go Hoskins, Segura, Harper, Real Muto? I'd rather, and maybe this is crazy, maybe this is bad. I got to look up the numbers. I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are going to be, but I almost feel that I'd rather have JT lead off than Rhys Hoskins. Now I want to go through. So JT leading off hits 331 in 178 attempts. So it's not as if he's got a bunch of attempts to do this. But JT Real Muto hits 331 leading off. Rhys Hoskins, just because I want Rhys Hoskins behind Bryce Harper. I think that adds such a different element. Think about last night, for example, against a horrendous Arizona Diamondbacks team, right? When Gene Segura and JT can't get on base in front of him, and then who's after him? You know what I mean? Like the power of Rhys Hoskins, who can deliver, is such a scarier thought. It adds more protection for Bryce. Rhys Hoskins leading off, it's 239. Oh, sorry, that's first base. Sorry. He's only had 31 at-bats. It's 194. I almost like JT leading off more. I'd give that a whirl. I think I would. I'd give that a whirl. I think that's what I would lean towards right now if I'm Joe. I think that's the route I'd go. No, I'm with you, though. If you try Hoskins, I understand, right? I mean, my thing is, I guess, do something different at this point to see if it could spark some sort of offense. That's where I'm at. Let's go. Let's try something new. Let's get something different here. Let's see if there's a new angle that they could take to get the offense rolling, because what they're doing isn't working. And it goes back to, is it as find someone to lead off? Remember a few years ago when Gene Segura was not running and Andrew McCutchen got hurt? And that team fell apart completely as soon as Kutch became unavailable for them. So is it as simple as once you find some leadoff production that it kind of snowballs? No, Craig, that text did not make me smile. It did not. Harper, Segura, Hoskins, Didi, JT Cut. I don't want to put Harper in the leadoff spot. I know he can. He can do anything. I mean, you can ask this man to do literally anything on the baseball field, and he'll be able to provide some sort of success for you. But no, I'm out on Harper. I think you lose a lot of what he does bring to the table in that third spot. I can't do it. Me personally, I'm not willing to go down that road. But should everything be on the table? I guess so. I'll look up Freddie Galvis leading off. The problem is, here's my issue. So who are you going to take off? Because Didi's power, I think, is important. A lefty bat that can rake to right field that way. And his defense has been better as of late, which we knew it would be. We figured he'd be a little bit stronger in that area because he wasn't as a disaster as he was showing. There's more to Didi Gregorius than that. So where do you play him? Because he doesn't play third. I had Ricky Bowe on The Fanatic about 2 weekends ago, and he was like, yeah, Freddie doesn't play third very often, so I don't know where he'd be playing. It's Torreyes at third every day, and Didi's playing shortstop. I just don't know where Galvis is going to slide in there at. All right, so I'm going to go to his career splits just to give us some numbers here. Yeah, I thought he'd be able to play third as well, just because you think about it. Galvis can play anywhere, and maybe he can. Maybe they try him there because if there was someone who will be able to be thrown around the diamond, it's Freddie Galvis. Batting first, he's hitting .248 with a .277 OBP. So, not that big of a sample size. 55 games batting leadoff, but yeah, I mean nothing. I don't even know where he's going to be able to get in there though. No, I don't think Ronald Torreyes can lead off. No, I don't believe that's where we're at. I mean that's desperate. Right? I mean, like the fact that I'm typing in Ronald Torreyes to even look at his stats tells you everything we need to know about how desperate we are looking for a leadoff guy. We're now asking if Ronald Torreyes can handle the job. It's pretty sad. With all due respect to our guy, to our everyday third baseman, well, Alec Boehm can't play. Cannot play. All right. So he's got 2 leading off. And he's hitting 0. Not that I expected anything different. That's basically what I expected. All of his numbers come from batting 7th, 8th, and 9th. He hits .293 when batting 9th, though. How about that for your boy Toe? It's .293 batting 9th. Slide that bad boy right into that 9th spot, baby. Let's go. Let's go. That's funny. Hysterical. All right, everyone. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. We're getting close here to 10 o'clock. I will have a winner announced for the Bryce Harper giveaway now that it's Wednesday for the jersey. That will be implemented. We're going to implement some giveaways again and start that back up. So I really appreciate everyone for all the support. We made some upgrades to the Brodes media equipment behind the scenes. I tweeted that out yesterday. I'm pretty stoked about it. I got this new soundboard, if you will. Dive research, playing with the settings and all. It's a little bit of a work in progress, but it can't happen without all the support to you guys. So much. You're the best. I appreciate it. And I will catch you guys tomorrow on Coffee with Brodes. I'm trying to think of our little schedule we got here, right? Because we got the Phillies tonight, and it's a little tough with these late games, but we do have a game tonight. Tomorrow we got an afternoon game with the Eagles Patriots preseason game. I'm just trying in my head to maneuver around what we have here for some content. So thank you guys all so much. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.